Remember when Americans used to flood our comments yelling, "If you don't like it here, leave"?
Well, joke's on them, because now 42% of Americans are considering leaving the US. And guess where they want to go?
Canada, of course. We're the #1 relocation destination for Americans who are done with chaos.
And Canadians, we're not going south either. Canadian travel to the US dropped by 900,000 people in March alone. That's a 70% collapse.
Even airlines are slashing routes. WestJet is ditching Florida, Air Canada is downsizing their US flights, and Porter's pulling back as well.
Globally, tourism to the US is down 11.6%. Europe, 17%. France, 25%. And even China has gone down 11%.
And it's only getting worse.
Why? Because the world's watching a superpower turn into a travel warning.
People are getting detained at the border, denied entry without explanation, and in some cases, they just disappear into the system.
The US is starting to feel like a reality show where the rules change mid-episode and the host has 34 criminal convictions.
Trump's cronies are back in power. Civil liberties? Optional. Rule of law? Negotiable. Border agents acting like bouncers at a mob-owned nightclub.
So yeah, Canadians are staying close to home. And honestly, that's a smart move, because while Americans dodge chaos, we're out here chasing waterfalls, whales, and Arctic sunsets.
We're sharing 3 of the most epic Canadian road trips you can take without crossing a single border checkpoint or worrying about whether your sunscreen counts as a liquid threat.
Canada is the best country on earth for road trips. Period.
We've got glaciers, deserts, fjords, tundra, vineyards, you name it.
Most people already know about the Cabot Trail in Nova Scotia and the Sea to Sky Highway in British Columbia, and of course the legendary Icefields Parkway in Alberta.
But today, we're sharing 3 lesser known but totally epic road trips that prove why staying in Canada is the best decision you'll make in 2025.
If you're the kind of traveler who craves the road less traveled, like the way, way less traveled, this is the one.
The Dempster Highway isn't just a drive, it's a journey to the literal top of Canada. This wild gravel road takes you from Dawson City, Yukon, all the way to Nunavut in the Northwest Territories,
with an option to go straight to the Arctic Ocean. It's about 740 kilometers one way, and while you can do it in 2 days, you should give at least 5 to 7 days if you want to do it right. This isn't your average road trip. You are crossing tundra, mountains, and the Arctic Circle.
You'll start by flying into Whitehorse, which is the easiest northern hub.
And from Whitehorse, you drive or hop on a connecting flight to Dawson City. This is a wild west town complete with Canada's first casino and can-can shows still going on. You can take a boat trip along the mighty Yukon River, see the old Klondike gold mines. Make sure to book a trip up to the Midnight Dome to see the midnight sun.
First up, Tombstone Territorial Park. Think dramatic, jagged mountains that look like something out of Iceland, but without the tourists or $30 hot dogs.
Then comes the big one, crossing the Arctic Circle. There's literally a signpost in the middle of nowhere, and you better believe you're pulling over to take a photo.
Keep going, and then you've hit Nunavut in the Northwest Territories. This is your last fuel stop and a great place to rest, stock up on snacks.
And if you're feeling extra adventurous, this is where you can drive the last stretch all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk. You can literally dip your toes in the Arctic Ocean. Bucket list complete.
This trip is rustic but memorable. In Dawson City, we recommend staying at the Downtown Hotel, and yes, do the sourdough cocktail if you're brave enough. And if you want to see what that's like, make sure to check out our video on that whole experience.
Along the way, there's the Eagle Plains Hotel that's about halfway, and it's really the only place that is an actual hotel.
In Nunavut, some lodges near Dawson City are mobility friendly, and the Tombstone Interpretive Center is an easy drive up the Dempster Highway with great lookout points. From Toronto, flights are usually $500 to $750. From Vancouver, they're closer to $400 to $600.
Rentals up here are a bit bit pricier, starting at about $150 a day.
You also had the gas expense, which runs somewhere around $500. Accommodations still run you around $150 to $200 per night.
So your total trip is about $3,500 to $4,200.
This is Canada at its most untamed. There's no border patrol, no concrete jungles, no noise. If you've been dreaming of road tripping along dramatic cliffs, watching whales breach in the surf, and eating lobster rolls while staring at a giant rock in the sea, welcome to Gaspé.
This loop is around the Gaspé Peninsula in eastern Quebec, and it's easily one of Canada's most underrated road trips. It's a coastal legend in the making.
You'll be driving nearly 920 kilometers along Route 132, hugging the St. Lawrence River, the Gulf, and every quaint fishing village in between. Give yourself at least 7 days, 10 if you want to slow down and breathe it all in.
Most people start this trip in Rivière-du-Loup, which you can reach by flying into Mont-Joli Airport or doing a scenic drive from Quebec City.
Start off your trip with a pit stop in Parc National de Bic, perfect for a quick hike, seal spotting, or sea kayaking.
And yes, it's that place from those Instagram shots with seals lounging on rocks like little maritime models.
Next up, swing by Pointe-au-Père in Rimouski. You've got a historic lighthouse, a museum dedicated to Canada's Titanic, and get this, a full decommissioned submarine that you can tour. This is not your average roadside attraction, let me tell you.
After all that, you'll roll into Carleton-sur-Mer for big skies and even bigger sunsets. Stay at Manoir Belle Plage and stroll the boardwalk, sea breeze in your face, pure bliss.
The real jaw dropper, though, comes next. Percé Rock. It is one of Canada's most iconic natural landmarks, and yes, it really is as massive and majestic as it looks in every photo.
Stay at Hôtel La Normandie, book a room on the top floor, and thank us later.
And spend a day in Percé Geopark, where you can check out the suspended glass platform for cliffside views, or, if you're feeling brave, hit that zip line.
Then hop on a boat to Bonaventure Island, home to 110,000 northern gannets. It's the most accessible bird colony in all of North America.
Round out the loop in Gaspé and head to Forillon National Park. It's rugged, it's raw, and it's where the mountains meet the sea. We recommend to hike Cap Bon-Ami, check out the World War II forts, and keep your eyes peeled for whales.
Along this route, there are heritage homes, covered bridges, lighthouses, and even public art.
Like Le Grand Rassemblement. This trip doesn't quit.
From Toronto, flights to Mont-Joli run about $350 to $500. From Vancouver, expect more, starting at around $700 to $850.
Once you land, grab a rental car for about $100 a day. Gas will cost you roughly $250 to $300 for the full loop.
For hotels, there's a mix of cozy inns and waterfront hotels all along the route, and you can expect to pay around $150 a night.
Food, entry fees, and the odd lobster roll? Well, that budget's going to run you another $75 to $100 a day for a couple. So altogether, this road trip clocks in at about $2,500 to $3,500 for two people. Well worth every puffin and panoramic view.
Gaspé is a dream for road trippers, but it's also surprisingly great for accessible travel.
Forillon National Park's Penouille area has accessible boardwalks, beach wheelchairs, and even adapted picnic tables. Many lighthouses like Pointe-au-Père have nearby parking and step-free viewpoints. Before we head east to Newfoundland, quick reminder.
We just launched our brand new merch store and we're so excited about it.
We've got t-shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made in Canada because, obviously.
Whether you want to show your Canadian pride or rock some gear that says no thanks to chaos south of the border, we've got you covered.
We ship to Canada and the US, and to our friends around the world, hang tight, we're working on it.
If you believe in democracy, decency, and defending your country without crossing the line, check out our store in the links below.
All right, onward we go. Let's hit that Irish loop.
The Irish Loop is a windswept fairy tale. Lighthouses, prehistoric fossils, whales, and yes, you'll even see puffins here too.
It's 312 kilometers of pure Atlantic drama, crashing waves, towering cliffs, and that classic Newfoundland warmth where every stranger is basically your best friend.
This loop circles the southeast coast of the Avalon Peninsula, starting and ending in St. John's. You could technically drive it in 4 hours.
But let's not. Give it at least 2 to 3 days because this isn't a drive you rush. It's one that you soak in.
You'll fly into St. John's, grab a rental car, and hit Route 10 heading south.
The first big highlight you'll come to is Witless Bay Ecological Reserve. This place is a puffin paradise. There are over 2.5 million seabirds nesting here, plus humpback whales, minke whales, and even the occasional iceberg drifting by like a floating mountain.
Boat tours leave from Bay Bulls, just 25 minutes from St. John's. You can watch whales breach and puffins do their goofy little crash landings. It's the cutest chaos that you'll ever want to witness.
Or stop at La Manche Provincial Park for a waterfall swim, suspension bridge views, and a short hike into a ghost village swallowed by the forest. This connects to the East Coast Trail, and that's the same trail that takes you to abandoned French villages and caribou country in the Avalon Wilderness Reserve.
And then there's the Fairyland Lighthouse. This is where you book a gourmet picnic delivered in a basket and eat it on a grassy cliff overlooking the sea.
Sorry, America, you can keep your roadside diners. We've got lighthouses and lunch with whales.
Don't miss the Colony of Avalon, a 400-year-old English settlement where you can actually dig with archaeologists.
Then it's on to Mistaken Point, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and home to some of the world's oldest known fossils. And just down the road is Cape Race, the lighthouse that received the Titanic's distress call.
At St. Vincent's Beach, the ocean drops so fast that whales swim right up to the shoreline. You don't even need a boat.
Hope for northerly winds, because fog rolls in faster than political drama on Twitter.
On the way back to St. John's, hit up Salmonier Nature Park, a peaceful trail that takes you through the woods where you can spot moose, lynx, beavers, owl, and every woodland creature that you might have missed on the road.
You don't need to hike to feel the magic of the Irish Loop. Sometimes the best views are the ones right from your car window.
Bay Bulls whale watching tours often have ramp access, and Salmonier Nature Park has smooth trails designed with wheelchairs in mind.
Now let's talk approximate costs for 2 people. Flights from Toronto run around $300 to $450, and rental cars are about $80 to $100 a day. Gas, another $100, and accommodations will be $700 to $1,000. Food and tours, we'll lump those together at $300 to $500, so your total cost for this will be between $2,200 and $3,100. So if you're still thinking about hopping the border this year, we've got one question for you. Why?
Why risk border chaos, political meltdowns, or flights that get canceled the moment someone tweets something dumb?
When you can road trip across Canada.
From the Dempster Highway's tundra and grizzlies to the coastal cliffs of Gaspé to Newfoundland's Irish Loop, these are trips that connect you to the land and the people who call it home.
So whether you're driving solo, with family, or 3 generations in a rental van, remember, Canada has everything you need.
So where are you traveling this year? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your Canadian road trip ideas, and we read every comment.
And if you need more inspiration, check out our other Travel Tuesday videos for even more amazing places to explore without leaving the country.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Canada's just getting started. Hey, and so are we.